Greetings in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm glad to find you all well under the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ. Today I'm going to talk about Proverbs 24:16, which says, "For though the righteous fall 7 times, they rise again." So I'm going to talk about falling in because of sin or mistakes, and then what we do when we fall. So human tendency, or it's inherent in us, that when we fall, we immediately get up. As kids, you may remember that you were running or riding a bicycle, and then you end up falling, and then what do? You just lay down there? No, you get up, right? So that's inbuilt in our character, where we get up and start running again. So what happens when we fall and sin? Right? Let's take some examples from the Bible. Right now, during the time of Jesus Christ, there were 2 people, his disciples, who fell. I'm going to talk about both the scenarios. So let's talk about Judas first. Now, he fell. He did something wrong, but the decision, he had the guilt about it, and the decision he took was he committed suicide. On the other hand, there was another disciple, Peter. He fell by betraying Christ. He said, "I don't know who Christ is," right? He just denied knowing Jesus. And but then he also had guilt, but he didn't let that guilt get the best of him. He rose up again, and his race after that was much more powerful than his time with Jesus Christ. The ministry he did after that, after the fall, was much more powerful than the ministry he did while he was with Christ. Right? So what do we do? You got to agree that everybody, every Christian, every believer, whether pastor, preacher, or a normal Christian, a churchgoer, all of us have our struggles with sin. How do I say that? Well, the verse that I just read says, "For though the righteous fall," it doesn't say "for though the wicked fall," it says "for though the righteous fall." Righteous here refers to righteous believers, righteous preachers, right? So all of us fall, but the fact is that we have to rise up again. I'll take another example. St. Paul, right? In Romans 7:19, he says, "I don't do the good that I want to do. Instead, I do the evil that I don't want to do." So even St. Paul had struggled with his sin, with falling over something. We don't know what it is, but he had some issues with falling, right? Failure isn't about falling. Failure is when you don't get back up, right? So if you fall and you don't get back up, that's when you really failed. My own examples, there are areas that I still keep falling. There are areas that I've fallen once and then got up and never fallen in that area. But there are areas where I've fallen multiple times. I still keep falling, but I still get up and run. There's one thing I always tell myself when I fall, right? And this is what I tell to Christ in my prayers as well. "Lord, I will always fall. I can never be perfect. I can never be holy. I will always fall. But every time I fall, I will get up and run harder than I used to." That's what you could keep telling yourself, my beloved Christians. Know that you will fall. Either you will fall because of your stupidity, either you will fall because the devil will tempt you into it, or you will fall because Christ wants you to learn something from it. Right? So whatever the reason, keep in mind that no matter how hard the fall, no matter how low you fall, keep it in your mind, be determined to stand up and keep running harder than ever. That's the only way you can finish the race successfully. That's all I have to say. Thank you for your time.